I will get better at, like, I will perfect the art of framing my yoga videos in a way where, I don't know, they give you the best ability to see and hear me, basically. I don't know. I want you to be able, ideally, I want you to be able to flow in a way where you barely have to look at the video. But anytime you do look at the video, it's for like a second. You can see exactly what I'm doing. You can see if I'm not doing the best job of explaining it. Because, like, so this is the thing. My whole thing is that I want to teach in a way where I'm taking people from being like literally a white belt, like never tried it before, tried it once, they weren't good at it. That's the story they have in their head. I tried it once or twice, I wasn't good at it, I didn't enjoy it. Other people in the class were better than, like, this girl, I think the first girl that I talked to in Amazon, I walked by an island, she was like, "Do your feet hurt?" I was like, "What?" She was like, you don't have bottoms on your shoes. Do your feet hurt?" And I was like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but basically, like, I do yoga and I want to be great. So yoga gives me the ability to not have imbalances and inflammation and tension and misalignments in my body. And then breathing techniques allow me to remove it from my mind, so that, because you can remove it from the body, but if the mind still feels the trauma, the tension, the attachment, the negative story, then your body isn't actually going to be free, even if physically you don't have any of those limitations. So, but basically with that, it's like Mamba mentality. What would Kobe do? Your feet hurt? All right, well, bitch, you have a whole rest of the day and you have more days ahead of this. So your feet can hurt when you're done work, but right now you got work to do, so it doesn't matter. Are you a bitch? Are you? Are you? Are you a bitch? Not today. Today I'm not. Okay, well, that's good. That's a good first step, but now you have to prove it to me, prove it to you, prove it to yourself. Um, so I'm not totally like your typical yoga teacher, but I'm very focused on being myself. So, but so she told me, like, she told me basically that she goes to LA Fitness or Gold's Gym or something like that, and that this lady told her that, I guess she had thought about doing yoga, and but this lady told her that um, she was like, "Oh yeah, you got to come to yoga. By the end of your first class, you're gonna be like bawling your eyes out. You're gonna be like crying, like going through all this stuff." So she never went to yoga. She never went to class. She's never done it before. And it was like, as she told me, I was like, "Fuck, come on, lady." Yoga is just very misunderstood, and all right, so basically, yoga is a Sanskrit word that has like 36, 37 different meanings. And the first meaning of the word yoga is union. Um, Yoga means to be in a state of union between the mind, the body, and the breath, which is the spirit. The breath is you know that bridge in Fairly Odd Parents that connects the world, like the rainbow bridge that connects the world to the heavenly planet? Um, the breath is like that for the mind and the body, and the connection between external, like we perceive this external world, so that's God outside of us, and then we have this internal spirit, this soul, this light that has been our true identity since the beginning of creation, and we've been experiencing everything that creation has to offer. And now, as human beings in 2020, we have the opportunity, we have the responsibility to figure out what that final stage of evolution is. Creating union between the internal and the external environment through the breath, and then unionizing that breath with the body and the mind and intention and prayer. This gets us closer and closer and closer and closer to being, I don't even know if this camera's on me right now, to being limitless, to being capable of accomplishing the impossible. And that's the purpose of our existence. Basically, we've all been going through life for forever, I guess, for infinity. And now we're here, and we're finally like, this shit is the trippiest shit ever when you really start to think about it and you're on acid and you're like, what the fuck? Think about this shit. Literally, we're all here living right now, and it's 2020. It seems like the world is falling apart. But the reality is we have the information, and we have how many yoga videos already online. I'm going to film all my own yoga videos. And we're gonna like literally, it's not very complicated. Like I'm saying, we have the information. The second meaning of the word yoga is discipline. So in order to create union with God, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, basically yoga is separation. And it seems like a contradiction, but the example that was given in the book that I read was, if you're gonna get into a shower, you don't put on like fucking boots, and it doesn't say it like this, you don't put on boots and a rain jacket and get yourself dressed up, because in order to create union between your body and the water, you need to separate, you need to create disunion from the things that are going to be in the way of that union. So in the same way, in order to create union with God, we need to create disunion from all of the bullshit in this world. Literally forget that it exists. Like, know what you need to know, stay woke, but forget about it. Forget about it completely. It's not important to you. Like, I'm gonna be in politics. I'm gonna get involved in all this shit. Right now, I'm not doing it. It's not important to me. Forget it completely. When the time comes, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if you focus on your practice, then you will be who you are meant to be, the best version of yourself when the time comes. For you to fulfill your responsibility in that regard. If you're not gonna be involved in it at all, what the fuck are you doing? What, you want to be able to like talk about it and have an opinion that's not even yours? You already know all the opinions. You already know like at least like the things that you think about and the things that you care about, and focus on God. Focus on meditation. Focus on being in that state of pure union, because then the only thing that you're going to be left with once you have separated yourself from all the bullshit is truth. And then you actually have your personal understanding of truth. So you can look at these other people that are like, hey, we got truth, and you can be like, you can suck my dick, because I am truth. I am free. I don't do this bullshit like the world and society believes a story, and therefore that has anything to do with my perception of reality. That's so stupid. Figure it out for yourself. You can do it. Like, literally, you can do it, but you have to stop thinking about, like, I'm a human, there's other humans, and we're just on our human shit. No, you are light. Literally, you are light. You are infinite. That's the reality. Like, we think about human shit because I guess we've been through a bunch of shit that we haven't dealt with, we haven't healed completely, and we know that eventually we're going to die. So the idea that we're going to die before getting to a state of perfection, and perfection physically as well as perfection mentally, like perfect knowledge, perfect understanding, perfect discipline, perfect sacrifice, freedom from lower vibrations, from unhealthy choices. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna film a yoga video. I'll turn this one off in a second. If you want, you can do alternate nostril breathing with me. Literally, to create balance mentally, we use the body and we exhale, Close off one side, inhale on the other. Switch to the top, exhale out the other side. Surrender, be grateful, maybe practice a mantra. Say Om Shanti Om. Say, I love you. Thank you, God. I love you. Inhale through the same side that you exhaled. I didn't say anything at the top because while I'm on YouTube and I always as soon as I start breathing and kind of detaching, I want to speak, I want to teach, I want to not have silence. But at the top of the breath, the point is to focus intensely on the top of the head and the silence that we feel when we are in the kingdom of God. Always remember to smile, especially internally. Forget about an external smile. Feel what it feels like. Go through the experience of forming an internal smile. Feel how smiling internally, in your brain, it makes your shoulders feel like there's less tension. It makes you know everything is gonna be okay. Ultimately, we have so much tension mentally and physically because it feels like everything is not going to be okay. But it is. And if you're disciplined, it's going to be great. That's the truth. I don't remember which side. Now, you finish your exhale, and then you see I'm not inhaling, I'm talking. Now, I'm talking intentionally because I'm filming the video, but also because it forces any extra air that I'm holding on to that is still in my lungs. It forces it up and out. And as I'm talking, as I'm exhaling, I'm focusing on literally just mentally watching the spine from the top to the bottom. And by imagining the spine, imagining that I'm breathing down, it seems like it doesn't make sense. It seems like it almost doesn't make sense, it's backwards, because obviously the lungs go down and the breath is coming from the top. So it goes down when you inhale, and then you're releasing it, through your head. But in imagining that we inhale up, we pull the air into the bottom because we start at the bottom, and then we fill the body. See, yeah, that's what it is. You inhale up top, And then because we go to school and our posture gets all fucked up and no one really knows how to breathe, nobody is being taught this, it's not common. We just breathe basically into like this area. And we don't understand that in the same way that you work your muscles, like you do push-ups, you do anything, target certain things, in the same way that you can work your mind just like a muscle, where you put it through resistance training, you go outside of your comfort zone, you learn new things, and then you grow, you expand your potential, you get stronger. Same thing can happen with the lungs. So you force the exhale all the way down. And I'm using my hands every time because it's a really effective way to actually feel what that feels like. If you're having trouble through visualization, through just like control of the mind, of understanding what that feels like to go up and down the spine, use your hands, feel it out. The silence at the top of the breath is heaven. When we choose to live in silence, and we have the patience and the focus to pause at the top of every breath, then we will spend a considerable amount of time every day in heaven while we're still here on earth. That's spiritual life. Like, that's the point. The point is that this is possible, is that we could live in, think about that. What does that mean? In our environment, we are living in heaven. That is our home. But we're still here on earth, which means that we have a great potential to serve, to lead, to teach, to lead by example. We can all do this. Like, it's not like, was Jesus real? Wasn't Jesus real? Be that. Choose to be that. You can do that. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's probably like the greatest disservice, but also not because I'm here. Like, I'm doing this shit. You can do this shit too. But it's so weird. No one has ever, not no one, but like for the most part, no one has ever thought about Jesus and yoga. Like, it's not connected. When I walked into the Kriya Yoga place a year and I don't know, like 9 months ago. No. Yeah, no. It was before that. When I walked in the first time, way before that. When I walked in the first time, there were like pictures of Jesus all over the place, with all different pictures of monks and of Krishna and Om Hare Om Hare Om Hare Om. So the thing about mantras is that they allow us to, like, as human beings, we want to express ourselves. And ultimately we feel our best when we're like living out our highest potential, in alignment with our highest potential, to act in a way where it's like pure natural self-expression. And as I said, our natural state of being is light. It's, the soul is like sun rays to the sun. They're the same exact thing, but the sun is one in quantity. So qualitatively, they're the same. But the sun is one, and it's the source of all the other sun rays, all of the light. But we are the same exact thing. There's no difference at our natural state. But we come into humans, and that is the duality of life, is that we also experience everything that comes with this material existence. But there's a higher state of being that we can achieve while we're still here. All right. Oh, mantras. Mantras allow us to express ourselves in a way where it's like we're expressing ourselves in the same way that I'm talking right now, but we're worshiping God. So we're expressing ourselves to the highest, vibration. Um, and they allow us to do it internally because we all kind of have an internal dialogue throughout the day, every day, that is positive or negative based on our actions, both physically and mentally. Like we're making mental actions, we're making choices in what we do physically, but we're making choices in how we think about things all throughout the day, every day. But for the most part, they're habits, and we don't really pay attention to it. So it feels probably negative and out of control a lot of the time. So mantras purify the mind internally and allow us to express ourselves externally, worshiping God in the way that feels best. Like it literally just, it's the thing about all of this is that I can explain all of it and I can tell it to you, but it's not about that. Like it's not about knowing any of this or understanding. I'm just trying to help you to, it is about understanding it, but you understand it through the practice. That's how you build good habits. Like it's just every day. Second meaning of yoga is discipline. But what you understand is that it's always worth the sacrifice of going outside of your comfort zone, of choosing to not judge yourself. Like I was going to talk about judgment earlier in the video. It's just like, may we let go of judgment 100%. Like literally 7-8 billion people can evolve to a state where they have completely removed judgment of self, judgment of others, fear of judgment of self from others. We let go of all of that shit. We don't experience any judgment anymore. It's not part of our personal reality. Even if we're with people who are very judgmental of us, none of it comes onto our radar. We can get to that power of tranquility, inner peace, and inner strength. Like that is spiritual strength. That's incomparable to anything else. Don't judge yourself. Like you're not supposed to be good at anything the first. You're definitely not supposed to be great at anything the first time you do it. It's just a practice. Anything you do, you'll get more comfortable with, and then you'll start to learn from it. You'll start to learn about it. You'll start to learn about other things. You'll start to experience more. You'll want to do it more because of the way that it's transforming your life. Sharanam Ganesha, 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 Sharanam Ganesha. Om Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Sharanam Ganesha, Sharanam Ganesha, Sharanam Ganesha, Sharanam Ganesha. So I was just thinking about judgment. I was thinking, I'm filming the video. How does this sound? How is any of this? And then I remembered I am worthy. To smile is a practice. It is a habit. It is a discipline that takes 10,000 hours to master. But the sacrifice is worth it. It takes intense spiritual strength and discipline to master the art of a true smile 24 hours of the day. Strong people smile. Weak people become angry or upset. Are you a bitch? Are you? Are you a bitch? Are you going to complain? Are you going to think about this in a way that's not real? Are you going to think about God? That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to when I talk about experience, the only way that you can experience this is by choosing to focus on, and when I say focus on God, not focus on religion, focus on gratitude, focus on being present. To be present is to be very close to God, because we're experiencing literally, we're outside of time. To be balanced, to be present. There's no way to not feel better about your situation. Like, to be balanced, to be present is the goal. So no matter what's happening, if we have, through consistency of practice, through devotion, if we have gotten to a point where shit is going wrong and we are smiling and we're not forcing it, we're enjoying the process of, all right, let's work through it. Let's get better. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna get better, or are we gonna be a bitch today? And obviously, it still happens to me. Obviously, it's not always bad. It's definitely not bad to have emotion, but the goal is to be strong enough that we are always peaceful, and not in a ignorant way, but in a leadership kind of a way. We never lose focus of our goal. We never forget God. We never forget the breath. We never forget to smile. You make me smile. You're good. I was just finishing up.